Thursday, April 22nd, 2021. In the heart of South Africa, a two-man armored truck running a routine high-risk cash delivery quickly find themselves in a high-speed ambush after being tailed by a convoy of robbers in a textbook box-in formation and soon take fire at 75 miles per hour. But what they don't know is the driver of the armored truck is a retired special operator from South Africa's premier Tier 1 unit, the SAPS, leading to an intense high-speed standoff on one of South Africa's deadliest highways.
Bring you some news just in now. Cash in transit heists continue to escalate despite a stern warning from Police Minister Behikele. Latest incidents in Cape Town on Jake's Carnival Drive.
High-speed heist caught on camera. Guards in an armored truck carrying high-value cargo in South Africa.
A hair-raising attempted robbery in South Africa is caught on camera. This video from last month shows an armored car crew coming under gunfire in broad daylight.
In the early 2000s, South Africa experienced a crime wave of unprecedented scale, with cash in transit heists being at the center of it all. As these armored truck robberies began occurring weekly and at times daily, becoming a defining feature of the country's post-apartheid crime landscape. In between 2003 and 2007, cash in transit heists began to spike rapidly.
South Africa continues to grapple with alarming crime rates, placing it among the highest.
With official reports citing over 300 attacks per year by 2006. And those were just the ones reported. Many more were either foiled before the money was taken or quietly settled by private security firms without media attention. And by the time 2008 hit, the number peaked to over 400 incidents in a single year. For context, that's a frequency comparable to cartel-related kidnappings in northern Mexico during the same era. Industrialized, strategic, and relentless. But unlike the organization within a cartel, South Africa primarily had three large players with skin in the game: ex-military syndicates, cross-border crime networks, and street crews with political connections. The ex-military syndicates were among the most deadly, as many members had training from old liberation armies like Umkhonto and Sizwe, or had served in neighboring countries' armed forces. They used proper formations, encrypted comms, and knew how to handle automatic weapons, explosives, and execute tactical ambushes. The cross-border networks and street crews often operated with the help of corrupt local officials or insiders in the transport companies. These crews were leaner, more mobile, and often hit soft targets. But one thing all these crews had in common was Pretoria, the administrative capital of South Africa and a long-standing hot zone for CIT robberies. Pretoria is where they made their moves, as the city sits at a crossroads of major transport routes, including arteries to Johannesburg and Limpopo, which makes Pretoria a prime corridor for high-value cash movements. Combine that with sprawling townships, rural outskirts, and slow police response times, and you've got a target-rich environment for organized crews. Tactically, these crews ran high-speed convoys, utilizing ram bars on their vehicles, and frequently deployed commercial explosives like gelinite or shock tube detonators to blast open armored trucks. Often disguising themselves in police or security uniforms, these crews staged roadblocks, and some even used disguised ambulances to flee with cash, undetected. And the crews got so good that these scores would take an average of under 3 minutes, with some as short as 90 seconds, from ambush to escape.
Let's bring you some news just in now. Cash in transit heists continue to escalate despite a stern warning from Police Minister Behikele. Latest incidents in Cape Town.
On November 12th of 2018, a CIT vehicle was hit by a convoy of robbers near Pretoria East. Explosives were used, and the getaway was executed in under 2 minutes. One security officer was critically wounded, and no arrests were made. On May 14th of 2019, a team of heavily armed suspects used spike strips to stop a Fidelity truck and held the guards at gunpoint. Explosives were used again, and the rear doors were breached. On April 16th of 2021, where robbers hit a cash van during rush hour, using civilian cars to block traffic. One of the guards was kidnapped during the escape and later released, a tactic increasingly used for hostage leverage and to delay police alerts. That crew made out in less than 60 seconds and were reportedly driving in an Audi A5. All 3 robberies were believed to be linked, and this crew were believed to be the big fish in town. But before we get into the action, just a quick word from the sponsor of today's video, Aura. In today's world, data brokers hold information on over 500 million people, each with thousands of data points. This $319 billion industry is rapidly growing and with little regulation. With data breaches and cybersecurity threats on the rise, it's hard to really know how secure your information is. But with Aura, you'll feel confident that your information is secure because Aura does it all in one convenient place and works around the clock to protect and keep your data and personal information away from data leaks and data brokers. And by automatically opting out of data broker lists, Aura has significantly reduced the number of robocalls that I receive, giving me a peace of mind and helping secure my information. But that's not all they do. Aura provides comprehensive protection that includes antivirus software, a VPN for secure browsing, secure password management, identity theft insurance, and even credit monitoring, all in one single app. You don't need to manage multiple subscriptions to multiple apps on your phone. Aura consolidates everything you need into one convenient platform, saving you time, money, and storage. If you'd like to stick it to robocallers and protect your information, I highly recommend checking out Aura. They're even offering you guys a 2-week free trial. Simply go to aura.com/PopoMedic or click the link in the description and protect you and your family's information today. These robberies cemented that this wasn't just a crime problem, but an insurgency in motion, as South African police were outgunned, outtrained, and often outmaneuvered, causing the private sector to turn to experienced armed guards, as the gig was no longer just riding shotgun in a CIT truck. It was a full-blown combat duty. And by 2020, most guards hired were either former law enforcement or former special operations, such as Leo Prinsloo, an ex-operator of the South African Police Service's Special Task Force, a Tier 1 unit often compared to France's GIGN or America's FBI hostage rescue team.
So those transit robberies, these guys that have hijacked all the cash and delivery trucks, they're working on the just outside Pretoria, Johannesburg area, and just going to load some armor-piercing bullets here to stop the vehicle with. You know, the armor-piercing, a little black tip. These guys are highly trained, as I've said. They use AK-47 rifles. They normally throw a jar or a Molotov cocktail.
Go on. Can you confirm it?
After retiring, Prinsloo ran and operated the Edge Shooting Academy, where he taught police, military, and civilians tactical driving, weapons handling, and VIP protection. On the side, Prinsloo began taking CIT escort contracts as a subcontractor for private security companies needing elite-level operators to deter and survive ambushes. And by 2021, Prinsloo was actively operating as a CIT escort driver, contracted for Fortis Proactive Defense Solutions, a private security firm which handled high-threat routes directly through Pretoria. On the morning of April 22nd, 2021, Prinsloo was behind the wheel of a heavily modified 79 Series Land Cruiser, equipped with bullet-resistant windows, reinforced steel plating, and a lockable cargo area built for moving high-value assets through high-risk zones. I'll take 7 of them. Prinsloo and his partner were scheduled to transport an undisclosed cash load through Pretoria East, when at approximately 10:25 a.m., while driving along the N4 highway, Prinsloo spotted a gray Audi A5 tailing them in a way that mirrored past setups. A black BMW X5 soon flanked the passenger side, and a Ford Ranger on the driver's side. Prinsloo called out the threat and began evasive maneuvers. But it was already too late. The trap was sprung. At 10:27 a.m., 7.62 rounds tore into the Toyota's windshield and driver's side. Prinsloo, an experienced operator, didn't even flinch. With one hand on the wheel, he drew his Glock 17 and scanned for an exit, but he knew not to shoot through the glass, and instead focused on baiting the attackers into overextending. For nearly 4 minutes, Prinsloo floored it, pushing 75 miles per hour, weaving between vehicles, and even veering off-road. When the Audi tried to pass on the left, he rammed it. When they repositioned, he shut them down. And then, he veered off the highway onto Linwood Road, navigating city traffic while scanning for police or a known staging point. By 10:31 a.m., Prinsloo pulled off into a pre-designated safe area, ready to engage if necessary. But without firing a single shot, the attackers backed off, likely low on ammo, rattled, or fearing backup.
High-speed heist caught on camera. Guards in an armored truck carrying high-value cargo in South Africa attacked by
a hair-raising attempted robbery in South Africa is caught on camera. This video from last month shows an armored car crew coming under gunfire in broad daylight.
In the weeks following Leo Prinsloo's high-speed survival, the footage leaked and spread across the internet like wildfire. Law enforcement and security professionals around the world dissected it, and for a moment, the South African public, numbed by years of violent crime, found a rare kind of catharsis within it. Someone had survived, fought back, and made it look effortless. But beneath the surface, nothing slowed down in Pretoria. In fact, the year 2021 would go on to be one of the worst on record for CIT robberies in South Africa, as between January and December of 2021, South Africa recorded more than 370 CIT robberies, with the bulk of the attacks still concentrated near Pretoria. Despite the surge of media attention and temporary public outrage, the syndicates weren't shaken. If anything, they adapted. Armed response teams began to encounter more aggressive tactics. Larger teams of attackers, sometimes involving up to 15 people per hit, using multiple vehicles to execute coordinated blocking maneuvers. But Prinsloo's video did change a few things, mostly in the private sector. Companies across the country rushed to upgrade their training protocols, investing in tactical driving courses, weapons retention, and route unpredictability. More veterans, from SAPS STF, and even international contractors, began to find work in CIT escort teams. In some ways, Prinsloo's calm under fire became a blueprint for survival, and his name became a shorthand for the kind of operator security firms seek to employ. Hey guys, if you enjoyed this video, be sure to hit that subscribe button. There's a lot more mini docs in the works, and you don't want to miss them. And be sure to check me out over on Instagram and X as well. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Goodbye.